5 items in today's video, and the first is the immigration checkpoint on the Thai-Malaysian border. And a few days ago, several hundred Malaysian tourists were stranded at the border. Presumably many have been to Hat Yai for a trip and they were going back to Malaysia. They got through Thai immigration okay, got their exit stamps, but when they went across to Malaysian immigration, the office was closed. It closes at 11 p.m. Some found accommodation, others just slept in their cars until the morning, but it was quite inconvenient. So if you find yourself in a similar situation, you're going back to Malaysia and it's quite late, just make sure to get back to the border well ahead of 11 p.m. Otherwise you could find yourself with the same problem. Item 2 is related to health, and just recently there's been a spike in the number of monkeypox cases in Thailand. But having read a few articles about it, it seems just to affect gay men. Of the 300 plus cases, 85% were gay men and 45% of those had HIV. So it seems the level of risk you're at depends on your sexual preferences and what you get up to in Thailand. And the highest risk is with young gay men. I've also been seeing a lot of large posters around Hat Yai warning of dengue fever. Dengue is endemic in this region, but some years are worse than others, and it seems that this year is particularly bad. There have been cases all over Thailand. There's no actual drug to treat it, but it can be treated. It can also be severe and it can even be fatal. Last week, a 14-year-old girl died at the same school where my daughter studies after contracting dengue, but it wasn't very straightforward. I don't know much about the case, but it seems that she had medical intervention and it got worse after that. Instead of taking her to a hospital, her mother took her to a clinic, and either the doctor misdiagnosed the problem and gave her the wrong drugs, or he gave her drugs that she was allergic to. Anyway, she went into a coma for 3 or 4 days and died. It can be quite a nasty disease. The mosquitoes that carry it are stripy, and you may think, well, you know, how can you tell a stripy mosquito? But when you see them, they are quite noticeable, and they're active during the daytime, whereas the regular mosquitoes are active between dusk and dawn. These ones bite in the daytime, and they like urban areas. And the best thing, if there's dengue around, is just to try to avoid being bitten. Wear mosquito repellent, wear long clothing to cover arms and legs, and just try to avoid being bitten. The third item is weather, and it's pretty wet at the moment. I got caught in the rain yesterday without an umbrella, and I had to wait in a doorway for about half an hour before a tuk-tuk came past. And the forecast for the coming week is heavy rain every day. And usually in this part of Thailand, the wet season is October, November, December, but it can be wet any time of the year. And from what I've read, there's a weather system in the South China Sea at the moment that's upsetting the weather in Thailand, and it's wet all across Thailand. So just be aware of that if you're visiting, and bring an umbrella. The fourth item is about banking, and there's been quite a lot happening with the Thai banking systems this year. The first thing is that banks are getting rid of internet banking. Siam Commercial Bank, that's Thai Panit in Thai, have already done it, and I've been told that other banks will follow. They don't want customers using internet banking, they want customers to be using their phone apps. I've never felt very comfortable about having all my banking on my phone, just in case the phone goes missing or gets stolen. But Thais love it, and I guess with so few people using internet banking, it's just not worth the bank's while maintaining those systems. So they're pushing everyone to use phone apps. And one of the reasons that Thais love phone apps is it's very convenient. They don't have to carry cash. They can just pay for things with their phone. And this is what you see all the time in shops. You know, that they'll buy something, and instead of handing over cash, they'll just key something on their phone. They'll get a QR code, that gets scanned and it's paid for. And many places now don't actually like accepting cash. They really like the cashless systems. I was out with my family a couple of weeks ago, and my wife tried to buy a couple of things, and each time she handed over a 1,000 baht note, and the person in the shop looked horrified because they don't have any cash to give change. So they asked, on deme, can you transfer? My wife can, because she has an app, but if you don't have an app, then you may have problems buying things in some shops because they've got no money to give you change. The other implication of this move to a cashless society is that ATMs keep disappearing. I made a video about this before, and on Monday I went to an ATM that's near my son's school that I use all the time, and it's nothing there anymore. They've ripped it out. And so it can be quite difficult, finding ATMs in some areas, and I think that situation is going to get worse. And I've been reading about a scheme for a central bank digital currency that hasn't been brought in yet, but they plan to, I think, fairly soon. They're going to give every Thai above the age of 16 a digital wallet, and in that wallet there will be 10,000 baht. So that's an incentive to start using the digital wallet. And I guess giving the people money is a way of trying to get the local economies going again. So that money has to be spent within, I think it's 6 months, and they can only spend it at shops within a certain distance from where they live. So I'm not sure where this is all going in the future. As I said in the previous video about this subject, they can't get rid of cash altogether. There's a lot of tourists in Thailand who won't have apps to pay. So those areas, they'll still be accepting cash. But as we go forward, there'll be less and less cash use. And Thais seem very keen on going towards the cashless payment systems. Something else that's happening is that facial recognition will be required for transfers over a certain amount. I think it's 50,000 baht. So Thais have to go to their bank branch with ID and then have their photo taken. I got in touch with my bank to find out what I needed to do, and they told me that they don't have a mechanism to do this for foreigners. They put me in touch with their call centre, and they waived the requirement for me. So I can make transfers above that amount without needing to use facial recognition. If you're a foreigner in Thailand with a bank account and need to make transfers above 50,000 baht, you'll also need to contact your bank so that they can waive the requirement for you. The fifth and final item is about this YouTube channel. And I'm aware that I haven't made a video for quite a long time and that my content creation is very sporadic. I can't really help that. I'm not a YouTuber or a vlogger. I'm a husband, a father, a 7-day-a-week taxi service for my kids, a gardener, repairman, dishwasher, laundry service. The kids are getting older, they're very active. I collect them from school Monday to Friday, and on Saturday and Sunday I take my son to football. My wife works 6 days a week, and it just leaves me with very little spare time. I'll just give you a quick bit of history about my involvement with YouTube. And the original plan was just to make a channel to teach people to read basic Thai. And I was going to do some tutorials. I've actually done them. And once the tutorials were finished, I was just then going to answer questions and maybe make some more videos to make things easier to understand if I hadn't explained them properly in the first place. That wasn't a success. Very, very few foreigners in Thailand have any interest in the language. So that channel just died. So what I started to do was make content about other things not related to language. And those videos were more popular, but it ended up with a lot of mixed content on the channel, which confused people. If they'd subscribed for Thai language, then they started seeing things that had nothing to do with Thai language. You know, they will be confused, and vice versa. So I made another channel, and I split the content. So I just left all the language stuff on that other channel and did non-language material on this channel. But then what happens is that people will see the videos and they seem to think that, you know, my primary function in life is making YouTube videos, and they expect regular content. And also YouTube wants people to make content all the time to keep people coming to YouTube. So they have ways of putting pressure on content creators. So there's always pressure to make content, and I just don't have the time. Every day I have a long list of things to do, and the YouTube stuff is right at the bottom. And some days I might get there and do a video, like today. Other days I just don't get that far, so no videos. And you know, the other stuff in my life is more important than YouTube. Anyway, I hope you understand. So just be aware that there will be times when I'll be making regular content, and other times there'll be like long periods where nothing appears. That's just the way it is, and I can't do much about it. Anyway, thank you for your understanding. Thank you for watching, and hopefully more videos soon. Bye for now.